Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friday Night Lights series here for the Leadfoot 250. My name's Kirk Mills, alongside Ron Mons up here in the booth. We got Howie Burrows in the production truck this afternoon. You're watching Maconi Entertainment. Things are about to get wild here at Indianapolis, one of them big race tracks that's very famous with open wheels. But guess what? Apparently NASCAR decided to come here in '94. Gordon decided to dominate, and since then we've been coming back every year. And man, has it been a really interesting thing tonight. We got the O'Reilly cars and a lot of good drivers out there getting ready to start things off. Ron, what do you think about tonight?
Well, I am looking forward to it. I am a nerd about the history of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Speedway, Indiana is my version of heaven on earth. Haven't been here since 2022. Wish I could return. But I'm looking forward to this race. Howie in the production truck and I got the opportunity just about 24 hours ago to cover a different league running these O'Reilly cars here at this track. And I talked a lot throughout that broadcast about how you need to have tracks like this to keep these drivers on their toes. You've got to be on your A game running around a track like here, Kirk. So it'll be real interesting to see how these drivers tackle it as we get closer to the end of the regular season and as we are into the second to last round of the in-season tournament too. So there's a lot riding on this race.
Absolutely right. And one thing I want to bring up here is we again want to thank you all so much for tuning in here to Maconi Entertainment for your racing needs this afternoon. It is going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you all have a good time with us. If it's not, then make sure you let us know in the chat, and then we'll see what we can talk about. Either way, let's go ahead and talk real quick about one big point here is that point standings. Take a look here. It has been an interesting year, but the big news across the board is for our top three, all Team Conti Sim Performance drivers. Bryson Hixenbaugh, Adam Benefiel, and Andrew Dyson. Those three cars have been nearly unstoppable this year, and they're having a great time. And that's not going to change today. Looking here at the qualifying results, Jonathan Delaney, who is, when you look at this sheet, he's not anywhere on here, but he's got the pole today. Remember, he's part-time. He doesn't run in this series very often, but today he wants to win at Indy.
Yeah, it's always very elusive for these drivers to try and kiss the bricks, so definitely keeping an eye on that as we go through this race. And speaking of, let's take a look at that starting grid, Kirk.
Yep, you can see Jonathan Delaney on the pole alongside Bryson Hixenbaugh in the 63, top two. Starting P3 this afternoon will be Andrew Dyson in the 41 alongside Daniel Wiles in the 88. Starting P5 this afternoon will be Cody B. Johnson with his best start of the year alongside Hunter Truell in the 71. Great start for those two. Starting in P7 this afternoon will be Ryan Von Henschel in the 2 alongside Joseph McWhorter in the 73. Starting in 9th this afternoon will be Matthew Blackley with his best start of the season alongside Casey Graves in the 01.
And looking outside of your top 10 here in tonight's race, it is going to be Jacob Simpson starting this race in 27, in the 22 car there in 11th. Next to him will be the 77 of Seth Foudy there in 12th. Row number 7, we'll see Blake Kluwat in the number 14 machine, looking to replicate the same success that Smoke had here in real life. He'll be starting next to Nate Pollard there in the number 16 machine. Right behind them on your 8th row is going to be Aiden Amaro starting next to Noah Woods, and behind them on your 9th row here on this starting grid will be Cliff Mullins in the number 44 and Michael Mesnard there in the 35. Completing our top 20 here for tonight's race will be Bill Hull. He'll be starting next to Matthew Boston Wheeler.
All right, let's get through the rest of this field. Starting 21st, Charles Eaton in the 75 and Adam Benefiel with the interesting qualifying effort there of 22. He's going to have a long way to go. Got Jesse Winslow alongside Mason Lowry there, 23rd, 24th, respectively. 25th this afternoon will be, I believe, Tim Phillips alongside Wesley Napier in the 95. And finally, our final starter tonight, Brian Wertman in the 74. Will be rolling off 27th. Now, the thing is, a lot of guys are out there running right now the actual Brickyard 400, so that's probably why we didn't get a huge turnout. 27 is pretty dang good, though. We'll work with that. 100 laps around here in Indianapolis. 30 laps for Stage 1, 65 Stage 2. You can see 4 tire sets. And the cars are already rolling off the grid at this just beautiful racetrack. It's one of my favorite views in all of racing right here. So many crazy events and moments have happened in this camera shot right here. everything from a fireball, people trying to climb the fence to avoid oncoming cars back in the early 60s, all the way to just last year when we saw a giant big one going into turn number 1 that took out most of the field and caused kind of a chaotic finish to the race last year. But tonight, you can see up front, Jonathan Delaney coming out of nowhere, going to be trying and making one of his rare starts here in the Friday Night Lights Series. Remember, he races all the time in the Full-Length Cup Challenge. He is a top-tier driver in a Full-Length Cup Challenge, consistently competitive with guys in Coke. He was a Coke driver himself in the past. He's fast. So is Hicksonball. He's the guy who pretty much just knows these cars through and through. He does race control on Saturdays. And I got to ask you, Ron, out of this entire field, you see a lot of different caliber of driver, but who do you think has the muster to go out there and try and get the win?
Oh, and that is a very tough question. Of course, Jonathan Delaney starting up at the front, going to be a driver of note. We talked about the in-season tournament. He is still in it to win it. He is facing Seth Foudy in the other semifinals here tonight. So an extra little incentive for him to try and get everything out of that car here tonight. You look in the history book. So last season, Bryson Hicksonball was able to capture his 7th and final win of his 2025 campaign here at Indianapolis. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on him. You know, it's been a good season for Hicksonball, but he hasn't visited victory lane since Dover way back in the spring. So keep an eye on that.
Absolutely. Well, looks like we're doubled up, ready for this start of this race. Will the pace car go in? Yes, it will. Reach down, pull them belts tight. One more time from Indianapolis, the Brickyard. Friday Night Lights Series goes through that start zone. The green flag is waving. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. Settling things out here, out of turn number 4. Jonathan Delaney, huge lead. The top 3 have gotten single file side by side for 4th with Hicksonball and Wiles. But as you can see, they're snaking all the way all across this racetrack, and they're just picking as many lanes as they can, trying to break the draft. Still side by side for 4th and the 1.
Yeah, and keeping it going right now. Hicksonball trying to hold on to that P4 spot, but going to lose that on to Daniel Wiles as they are still side by side, heading through the south end off through turn number 2. That's going to be Wiles jumping his way up into that 4th spot. Daniel Wiles has been so competitive throughout this season. Keeping an eye on that number 88 car to see whenever he may finally break through into victory lane.
He's just got to be, consistent. He might have his foot in the door for sure. He's been confident. He's been fast. He's been good. Von Hinchel hits the wall just a little bit behind this, able to recover the car, keep it going straight. Light contact, not much to take a look at, really. It was on your screen. But as you can see up in the front, that 6 car, if we can get a chance to see it, he's snaking. He went all the way down to the bottom near the bricks, the inside wall, and then went right back up to the outside. And he's trying to break the draft so he can get away from Andrew Dyson, who is trying to chase him back down. But the longer that we're going to go, remember, they got to get to lap 30. They got to make sure they can make it that far. And tires are going to be a big deal here. These guys are going to keep the cars underneath them, keep it going steady. And as you can see, snaking already down the back straightaway. 6 is all the way near the grass.
Yeah, the start and back straightaways here at Indy measure to be about 5/8 of a mile long. One of the longest straightaways that will be at all season long here, probably second only to the front stretch at Pocono. It is a massive run, so these drivers already trying to play that slipstream game, try and break the draft as they head their way through here so they can just hold on to any sort of advantage that they can get here in the early stages. But to get back on the point that you were raising there, Kirk, about the tires here, that is going to be a consistent theme. It's going to be a consistent worry throughout this race. This track surface is very porous, so keep an eye on the tire fall off as we go throughout these runs.
As we look through the entirety of the top 10, the first battle I see isn't until the 01 of Blake Kluon in the the 01 of Casey Graves and the 14 of Blake Kluon on your screen. You can see that Nate Pollard making his first start in quite a while just behind this. Decides to come out and try to race today. He's doing pretty good right now, top 15 spot. Other than that, everybody else single file. This, again, is the only side-by-side battle within the top 20.
And these drivers looking to settle down at the current moment. This is one of those racetracks where you do not want to tempt fate. This track, it's been around since 1909. Many drivers and many cars have been claimed here over the years. Both cars getting wrecked and unfortunately drivers passing away. But we're only going to have to worry about the cars getting wrecked here tonight. And that is going to hang ominously. The wall taps as we head our way out of the 4 challenging turns around this racetrack. They are going to become a lot more of a common occurrence. Already starting to see a little bit of it. I think I saw there in the back a shot. I believe it was the 2 of Ryan Von Hatchel that just drifted up a little bit as he headed his way out of turn number 2. Just scraped against that outside safer barrier a little bit. Those scrapes are going to turn into taps, and those taps are going to turn into wax. Keep an eye on that throughout this race.
You know, there's one car I want the people to keep an eye on, is that 83 of Adam Benefield. Adam Benefield, he started P22 way back in the field. He's already up to 14th inside of the top 15 already. And that 83, we know he's fast. He's in the top 3 in the point standings. He has a good shot of definitely driving his way towards the front. Just not necessarily the best of qualifying efforts this afternoon.
Ooh, as they get a little bit wiggly there, heading out of turn number 1 through the south chute. Able to hold on to it. There is Casey Graves in the 01, but a little bit of contact there. Trying everything in the book is Nate Pollard. He's looking for it there in that number 16 machine. Currently slotted in lucky spot P13. Looking to send Casey Graves back as they're side by side down the backstretch. Heading their way into turn number 3. And that's still going to be Pollard trying to make something, anything work. He finally clears them as they head their way through the north end.
You know, I gotta call out a driver here real quick. Look at who's in P3 right now. Can we get a camera up there at P3 real quick? P3, Cody B. Johnson. The top group has started to get clumped back up together. They are not as separated as they once was. Cody B. Johnson is not necessarily a top 3 driver. At least we haven't seen that so far this season. But what a start for him this afternoon. On lap 7, going to get lap 8, he's able to be in the top 3 of podium position, right behind Dyson and Delaney. Both cars who are fantastic at racing in both of the series, Friday Night Lights and the Full-Length Cup Challenge here live on Maconi Entertainment. But a good day for Cody B. Johnson to start things off. Looking at this top 10, him and Matthew Blackley are really the 2 surprises today. Matthew Blackley sitting P10 as well. Everybody else, you know, we see in the top 10 kind of more common than not. So having a good day for those 2 cars. But back up towards the front again, battle for 4th. Here comes Truel to the inside of the 88 of Wiles. He's able to make that pass easy, and now Hicksonball tries to follow him through.
Yeah, Wiles just getting sent up there as the top side still looking to get rubbered in early here in this race. Wiles was nearly in trouble. Got to hold on to that P5 spot for now, but Truel definitely a little bit forceful in trying to get that move done heading through turn number 1. Keeping our eye now side by side in the fight here. That is for second on the road. That's Cody B. Johnson trying to jump his way in front of Andrew Dyson, and he's going to get it done there. Nice stuff heading into 3.
Really good run today for Cody B. Johnson. He's got something under that hood that I don't think I've ever seen before. Pretty dang good. Remember, he didn't start necessarily that good either. He started whenever he qualified P5, it looks like. He went from P5 all the way up now to P2. And he's fast. He's going to catch that 6 car. Who knows? We might get a new leader here in just a little bit if he's a little more daring.
And, you know, despite the fact that here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's the legends of motorsport that usually get the most amount of attention, this track is known to give some underdog winners. Paul Menard won the Brickyard 400 here many, many moons ago, an emotional win for his dad, who spent years as an IndyCar team owner. This is one of those tracks, though, that you never know exactly what a race is going to bring until you get to that checkered flag. Cody B. Johnson putting in a fantastic performance right there in that 04 machine, still tucked into the draft in the slipstream of Jonathan Delaney, as you can see, battling right now there for 4th. That's Daniel Wiles and Hunter Truel starting to squabble as Truel slipped up.
Yeah, I mean, this top 2 spot's going to be changing eventually, but back here in the 4th spot, you can see Wiles is trying to take that spot back. He's going to be able to clear him here into the corner, and now Joseph McWhorter, or Joe McWhorter, going to the inside for 6th place position, I believe it is. That is 7th, 6th, 5, and 4 right there, all on your screen, those 4 cars. Top 3 kind of push their way out as the 22 gets into the wall on the exit of turn 2. Big wiggle out of the 22 machine.
Yeah, I talked about those wall taps turning into bumps and turning into scrapes. That is going to be a common occurrence as, look at Cody B. Johnson. He punches that there into turn number 3 to take the race lead. That came out of nowhere on Delaney. Sneak attack.
I mean, I think that this is going to be pretty dang good. We're going to see what happened with the 22 here. You're going to see him get into the outside wall on the exit of turn 2 here. And when he does, oh, man, he gets loose, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. He saves the car, keep it going straight. And then up here for the lead right at the same time. Cody goes down to the bottom, shows the nose, and the 6 is like, okay, just go ahead. 6 did not fight that very hard. He let Cody B. Johnson go. Now, Cody B. Johnson leading this race by almost 0.3 of a second now over 2nd place.
Yeah, no, side-by-side battling heading around this racetrack here in these big lumpy stock cars is a heck of a lot easier said than done. So Delaney deciding, you know what, I'm not going to tempt fate.
Back straightaway, 2 cars spinning right in the middle of the back straightaway. Through the grass, who was that? That's Nate Pollard.
And Pollard was playing with fire a little bit earlier on. I believe it was him and Casey Graves that came to blows as they headed their way through. Yeah, there it is, side-by-side racing as they head their way down the back straightaway. Blake Kluwa trying to get involved there. The 01 trying to go for a space that just was never there. A huge miscalculation there from Graves.
That was horrible. Like really bad. My goodness. 16 did not change lines. The 01 came up the side draft and turned him. I don't like that at all. Feel so bad for Nate. He just came back, and I was rooting for him, hoping he would do good, but got taken out there. So unfortunate. I really hate seeing that.
Yeah, very big miscalculation. Casey Graves, he's been a solid driver throughout this season. Certainly nothing intended there for the 01 machine, but a big, big mistake. Gotta wonder here, this could be a red herring that I give here, Kirk, but I feel like this is one of those racetracks where spotters are maybe the most important. They always talk about it for the Indy 500. They talk about it, of course, for the Brickyard 400 in real life. I wonder if some of these drivers, because of the iRacing Brickyard 400 going on the iRacing channel right now, I wonder potentially if some of these drivers are maybe going without their spotters here. Maybe they're having to rely on the old trusty iRacing baseline spotter.
Yeah, I raced in this series all year last year as a driver, and I can tell you very few drivers actually had spotters. I can tell you one driver who absolutely has his, and that is Seth Foudy, who's trying to win in the in-season tournament. He's currently running P10, and the driver he has to beat, unfortunately, is running P2. He's got a ways to go to get there, but I can tell you for a fact, he has his wife who spots for him, Samantha Foudy, and together they have 7 kids. It's a wonderful, huge family. They're a great group of people, so wishing him the best of luck this afternoon. Currently P10, battling in a little bit of a hornet's nest right now.
Yeah, as one of the other drivers involved in that hornet's nest is Bryson Hicksonball, a driver that I had outlined as being a potential race win contender here. Now, we've seen Hicksonball really come to form late in some of these races, but right now doesn't find himself in a very calming situation. He is at the front of a pack of very angry Hornets there up at the front. It is and pretty dicey there at the moment for Hicksonball. Finds himself in P6 as Hunter Trull, Jacob Simpson goes side by side directly behind as the battling still continues on.
Yeah, this is getting really chaotic back here. I mean, a lot of the cars are starting to get pushed and tight, except for that 83 of Benefield, man. He is on rails. He's able to run the bottom better than anybody else, I always like to say in this series. He can do it so much better, and now he's gotten to the inside of Trull, remember, who was running up into the top 5 for a short period of time. Next on his list is Simpson, and then he'll be catching his teammate for Team Conti Sim Performance. That's Bryson Hicksonball just up the road as well. So he's got a few more cars to go to get to a pretty dang good top 5 spot, but I think he's got the speed to do it.
Yeah, but the thing here at Indianapolis, you've got to have the speed to, even have the chance to do well, but you've got to have the stones to be able to put the rubber to the road and try and run well here in this race. It takes a lot of guts to try and send it off into some of the turns here, especially at the end of the straightaways. The speeds are so incredibly high here at Indy. No real banking to help you out, a couple of degrees, but compared to some of the tracks that we've been at so far this season, it is basically a flat track that we're running here at Indy. So for these drivers, not only are they having to worry about the speed in the race car, they're having to worry about how much of that speed they can fully extract.
You're looking again at the battle here. Hunter Truex, Seth Dowdy there in the 77, sporting a new paint scheme this week. You can see the car behind him. That's Ryan Von Henschel, and then Matthew Blackley here, all the way from 9th to 12th, it looks like, in this little battle group there. 4 cars. That will separate out the longer we go. And I can tell you right now, one thing I really want to look at, if we can, is I think a battle that's going to be developing really quickly is Adam Benefiel and Bryson Hixenball. You can see right now that those 2 cars are separated by quite a few car lengths, but it's going to be closing up. I think that 83's got so much more speed right now than Hixenball is showing. I mean, but then again, Hixenball always likes to keep a little in the back seat. He's ready to go whenever somebody pressures him if he wants to. I think he's saving tire. But the folks that we're looking at just outside of the top 10 too, you're going to see a lot of these guys who have burnt their stuff up continue falling back, like Hunter Truex, for example. But the 88 of Wiles seems to have taken care of his stuff. He was running P4, P5 at some points, but now he's on the back bumper of Dyson, and he might be looking for an opening here soon.
Kirk, I'm not sure if I've told this to you. I've said it on broadcast before, and I'll say it here. Tire wear is like rabies. By the time you realize that something is wrong, it's already too late.
Yep. I'd say that's accurate. They're pretty dang good there, too. Yeah.
Especially here, of all places.
Now, here's the thing. I'll be honest. This is the part of the race where most people who are here watching, just like me, just like you, you're not like, okay, what's happening? Why are we single file? What's up with the giant gaps? And then, one of my ways I like to combat that, one of the few ways I like to make a mention of it, is can we go to the gyro cam on the 88 of Daniel Wiles? If we can go to the gyro real quick, I just want to show you guys something. So right now, as you can see, we're heading down a back straightaway. They're going to be hitting about 190, 191 in that range. It's not crazy fast compared to like what they used to run, where they get up to 205, 206 back in the day. But now, he's handling a kind of a condition that's not really fun. You get into the corner, you're trying to keep those left side tires just underneath that white line, then you arc it back up while carrying the momentum. Here we go down the front straightaway. It's one of the most amazing views in all of racing. And I think Dyson is actually pulling away from him just a little bit. He's going to hit maybe 192, I think, here. Not quite, 191. He goes into the corner, tries to get there, but there is a bubble, an actual physical bubble that is in between the 41 and the 88. The 88 needs to break that bubble. He needs to pop the bubble, as the SpongeBob episode would reference. And once he's able to get through that bubble, he might be able to at least try and poke his nose out and hopefully not push Dyson further. Because once you end up popping that bubble, eventually you're pushing the car in front of you further out, and it's going to be harder to catch. And that's one of the things that I think will change in coming years on the sport. But you can see that he has just to be patient. As a driver, you don't get to just gain all you want all at one time. You're gaining a tenth of a second here, tenth of a second there. For example, if we jump back to the 83 real quick, I know we're on the 88, but can we jump back to 83? He's right now on the bottom side of Hixenball. He just made the pass. So the 83 just got by that Hixenball machine. But that 83, remember, started P22. He's got way older tires on that thing. In order for him to be able to outlast everybody else, he had to take care of those while also driving the wheels off the dang thing. So how do you do that? You have to have a lot of dang talent. And I tell you what, Adam Benefiel is that driver who has a lot of talent. I would be surprised if he does not get a top 3 tonight based on the way he's driving from 22nd all the way to 6th in just 20 laps. What a phenomenal drive by Adam Benefiel.
As we take a look now at a move here that Adam Benefield pulled off on Bryson Hicksonball. Talking about the way you got to tackle one of these races, you've got to be very methodical about it. And kind of go with the flow, roll with the punches, any sort of phrase that you want to use. Don't worry, be happy. All of that really applies to running here at Indy. So here in these cars, you can't stress about the small things. Don't sweat the small things, I think, is the main key here. There was an odd little... Oh, it was actually... I'm going to scratch that point. As I think... I'm not sure about you, Kirk. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me, which my feet sometimes work better as eyes, and my eyes work as eyes. I think right now we've got ourselves a battle that could be getting a little bit spicy here up at the front. Delaney has popped that bubble.
Yeah, he's right on it. But, man...
Leave him on the bubble.
From here on out, I'm going to call you Toph. You can see better with your feet. What? Okay.
Yeah, my feet would work better as eyes, and my eyes would work as eyes. Certainly my left one. I think I have early onset cataracts is what I'm trying to say.
You had the right idea. The point is you saw it. That 6 car is gaining ground on Johnson. That's the whole point of the last 5 minutes of rambling. I can tell you right now there, Ron. When he gets there, I think remember, Delaney let him go, right? Would you agree, Ron? He just moved up out of the way and let him go.
Yeah, he didn't really fight it too much.
Yeah, because of that, I think that car might have ran really, really hard as a 6, may have saved just a little bit here and there, enough to catch him again. And once he's there, now the 6 expects or hopes that Cody B. Johnson will repay the favor. He's like, hey, you were faster than me, I'll let you go. I'll let you have your time at the front. Wonderful. But now I'm faster. Now I'm on your back bumper. If I make a move or if I show my nose, I hope that you show me the same respect.
You know, respect is a two-way street here at Indianapolis. If somebody gives you that respect, you need to respond in kind. And if somebody decides to slam the door shut right in your face, well, you got to do what you got to do here at Indy. Oh, as you can see, the 4 with a bit of a snap as he headed his way through the turn. This may allow Jonathan Delaney to close up that margin, although Delaney was a little bit sideways as he headed his way out of turn number 2 as well. Not going to get the run that he had in mind heading into turn number 3, but I think Cody Johnson is certainly feeling the pressure. If Delaney can lay it on as thick as icing on top of wedding cake, we may see another swaparoo for this race lead.
Now, look at the biggest thing that I want you to mention here is look at the top 15. We're separated by 12 seconds. That just shows that the vast difference between the cars, the drivers. This is a driver's track. You set the car up, make it run good, and once you have the car down, as long as you have the driver behind the wheel of the table to manipulate the car in ways that is better than the rest of the guys, you'll be able to scoot out. But look at what we're noticing here is the top 2, that's a pair. You got 2 and they're close to each other, right? Then you go to 3rd and 4th. Guess what? There's a pair right there. You got Dyson and Wiles. You go back again, and you're starting to get another pair, which is the 83 and the 73. The 83 is catching to the 73. The only odd man out right now is Hicksonball. He doesn't really have a pair. It's more of like a little trio back there, but the further that we look, you need a drafting partner. You can't just expect to be fast on your own. It's good to have somebody pushing you or somebody giving you some drafts so you can catch up to them. So the idea of tandem drafting doesn't exist necessarily anymore in the regard as bumper-to-bumper pushing like we saw in 2011 and 2010 at Talladega. 2011 and 2012 at Talladega and Daytona. You would see it now more as aerodynamic pushing. That little gap there, believe it or not, pushes the 41 forward, and it brings the 88 forward, but kind of as a team tandem here. You can break that bubble if you so choose, and if you got the speed on them, you definitely try, but it's not like it used to be. And you got a point here. That 83, he's right on the back bumper to the 73. He's going to be there in the next lap or two.
Yeah, that 83 Adam Benefield, talking about the kind of driver that Benefield is, very versatile here in this series. Of course, one of the drivers that runs in both leagues. You'll be able to catch him tomorrow night here on Maconi Entertainment as he tries to gun for a win in the Brickyard 400, as things get really dicey there between Ryan Von Henschel and Matthew Blackley. It's actually a 3-car fight as Jacob Simpson at the front of this. So it's a 22, the 43, and the 2 side by side squabbling as they head their way through turn number 1. Look at Simpson trying to make something work there on the bottom, but Blackley keeping that momentum rocking and rolling. And now Von Henschel looking to jump his way down there on the bottom as well. Nice to see the 2-car back out there on the racetrack after some time away. Side to side, door to door contact there between the 22 and the 43. Still drag racing as they head their way down into turn number 3. Who's going to have to back out of this? Because you can't go side by side for a full lap here at Indy. Well, you can, but the racing gods are going to start to frown upon you and maybe throw some bad luck your way. The 22, a little bit wiggly, heading through the north end. The 2 trying to make something work there on the high side, but those 2 cars right in front of him kind of acting like rolling roadblocks. He has nowhere to go, does Ryan Von Henschel.
Yeah, that 22 car is just way too loose, and when you're on the bottom of the racetrack, that car really does like to get sideways. And okay, Ron, we'll see you in a minute. Hope we'll miss you a lot. All right, here we go. 22 back to the bottom of Von Henschel's. Blackley tries to run away from this, getting into the wall a little bit, doing that too. I can tell you right now that I think the folks are just really hoping to get some stage curves. They know that's what it's going for right here. 10th place is the cutoff. Right now you got Ryan Von Henschel in the 2 car, who's got it. 22, Jacob Simpson, and the 14 of Blake Kluot would love to get an extra point. They just got to get by one of the cars in front of them. Now, if they can, good for them. If they can't, oh boy, the entirety of the first stage is practically useless. 2 car, oh, look at this. He gets to the back bumper of Blackley, moves him up the racetrack a little bit, and they're going to be side by side for 9th. All right, down the back straightaway. That 22's getting a run. Blackley might be in a bad spot here. Yeah, here comes 22. He's gone. Yeah, that's going to work out. 2 and the 22 going to the bottom. Well, the 22's been loose on the bottom of the racetrack, though. Oh, wow, look at that. The 2 car washes up the racetrack, slows Blackley down, and now the 22 moves in.
Yeah, look at Kluot now trying to stick his nose into that fight there as well. And sorry for having a bladder there, Kirk. That's my bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just playing with you, man.
Ryan Von Henschel still looking tight, though.
Yeah, you know, right now we got about a lap and a half before we get to the end of this thing. Leader of the race has pulled out again, a little over half a second. This is, again, the battle for the last point. Side by side for it right now. Blackley's got it. 22 on the outside would like it. Coming out of turn number 4. The leader themselves, remember, is already in turn number 1. They're already coming on 2 laps to go right now. This is 2 laps to go. And when they cross the stripe next time by, we'll get the white flag in the stage. And then we'll divvy out points in the top 10. That 22 would love to keep that extra point there. And further behind, there's some hard racing too. So it's just kind of how it is in the back teens. But again, Cody B. Johnson, got to talk about him one more time. He has had a lovely first stage, and he'd love to continue that into stage 2 and possibly the end of the race. But a new switch of positions, there's Benefield moving up to 5.
And so Benefield really putting together a good race so far right now. Look at that, 17 spots gained since the drop of the green flag for that driver, the number 83 car. Still looking for a little bit more as we go on throughout this race. Again, speaking of the versatility of the driver that Adam Benefield is, doesn't matter what kind of racetrack that he is running on, could be a road course, could be a short oval, could be a super speedway, he is always going to be a strong contender. So I think Adam Benefield may be able to run really well here in this race, as I believe I'm seeing Hunter Troll drop down there in the 71. Thought that was a pit stop, may have been a disconnect. We'll look to confirm.
Hunter Troll is out. Yes, he has disconnected from the server. He is out of here. He is gone. But as for the front of the field, I can tell you right now, coming out of turn number 4, Cody B. Johnson, who has moved from 5th place all the way to the lead, and now as he comes on the final straightaway, Cody B. Johnson, surprise of the day, will come across the line, and he will win stage number 1.
What a run from Johnson so far here in this race. That was a fantastic performance there in stage 1.
Let's take a look at our stage 1 results live on your screen. We're going to take a quick step aside, and when we come back, we will start stage number 2 here live on Maconi Entertainment. Stay with us. We'll be back with you here shortly.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Friday Night Lights series here live from Indianapolis. Already doubled up for the restart down and back straightaway. Again, Cody B. Johnson was your stage 1 winner. However, he is now going to be starting on the outside of this particular restart. The further back you look, a lot has changed in terms of qualifying, going from the back to the front. Adam Benefield's one of those drivers. You also have Seth Foudy, who started 12th, going from the back to the front. Otherwise, the majority of the top 5 started within the top 10. So at this point, we're about to get this thing back underway, and we're racing a lap 65. So that means we'll have about 30 laps again. No green flag pit stops should be happening through this cycle. It should all be clean and green all the way to the end of the stage, at which point then we will have lap 70 to 100. Our final stage. Also, no green flag pit stops that I can see. All right, here we go. Out of turn number 4, pace car is going to go ahead and dive it down into the pit road right about there. And now, side by side, they're approaching that restart zone. You can see all the cars still out there on the racetrack right now. We are back underway, and a great restart from Delaney on the bottom. He's going to take the lead. Further back, Hicksonball and the 77 of Foudy side by side for position. Further forward, though, the 88 of Wiles tries to make a move down on the inside of Dyson for that position. He's up to 3rd now. Top 2 still under a blanket. Cody B. Johnson trying to get to the back bumper of the 6 car, and he's pedal force fast today.
Yeah, the clean air is going to be so important here at Indy that I think Jonathan Delaney is very much so enjoying that taste of clean air for the first time in a while. Cody B. Johnson, though, enjoying that dirty air as much as one possibly could, but you know deep down that he doesn't like it one bit. So he's going to try and get this move done here soon, I am sure of it.
Matter of time. We'll have to find out together. Man, here we go. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. Second stage. Here he goes. This is going to be a battle for the lead. He's going down to the bottom, and he should have this. 6 car gave it to him last time. I think he might do something similar this time. Into the corner. 6 car does not fight too hard. He's going to fall in behind, and now new leader Cody B. Johnson back up to the lead after losing it during the pit stops. And on the restart, back to the lead, Cody B. Johnson trying to scoot away.
Yeah, Cody Johnson looking to run away with things. Meanwhile, throughout the field, we've got drivers squabbling. This is Ryan Von Henschel and Blake Kluwat going side by side, heading their way down the start-finish stretch into turn number 1. Look at Kluwat there, starting to bang doors with that too. Von Henschel had to use a couple of weeks off as a bit of a reset here after a pretty rough start to his campaign here in 2026. Just looking to try and find some firm footing as we go through the summer.
Closer and closer to that very exciting chase that we are closing in on. A very exciting stuff. 83 gets by McQuarter there to the inside now in the top 5. He's trying to chase down his teammate Dyson there, followed by Wiles, and then he's got Delaney and Johnson the next in his sights. He's got a ways to go to get there, though. And every car you pass, the difficulty increases substantially. So that's kind of how it works here in NASCAR world. The thing is that you might be able to go into one of these races, say even in the officials, you might have like a 4,000, 5,000 I rating. But guess what? There is always a bigger cat out there. There's somebody with 11,000 I rating on the service that exists. Someone like that, I mean, that are just ultra aliens. So hard to even come close to beating. And it's practically impossible to be able to do so. There's always a bigger cat. And the thing is, here in this series, every car you pass is like getting by a bigger and bigger cat. These guys up front, they are some of the fastest we see in the series. Cody B. Johnson is really surprising the world today. He's not someone we've seen up front very much at all. But now, Look at him. He's pulling away over a second lead from the rest of the field. What is going on? It's phenomenal driving.
Yeah, it's a brilliant effort that Cody B. Johnson is putting to paper right now. It is fantastic stuff that we're seeing there. Getting back to the point that he raised there about how difficult it is to get the moves done when you go farther up the field. It's like climbing up a ladder, and the rungs get farther apart the higher up you go.
Single file still happening up front, though. This is where patience is going to come in. They're going to try and gain half tenth there, half tenth there. Try to get all they can. Look for the driver in front of them to make a mistake. Hit the wall. Maybe get loose. You never know. Push tight. Get up in the outside wall. Cause a problem. Whatever it is, they're going to look for it. Single file for the majority of the top 10. That won't last long, though. Here comes the 83 of Benefield to the inside of Dyson.
Look at that. Beautiful stuff there from Adam Benefield heading his way into the turn, talking about the versatility of that driver. He's very quick, but so too is Andrew Dyson. I've been really impressed with the speed week in and week out from that Aussie. We usually talk about him being a road course ringer here in this series, and while it is certainly true that he is a force to be reckoned with whenever you go on the left and right, he's gotten pretty good at this oval stuff too, so keep an eye on him, currently running at 5th.
Okay. Well, all right then. I got to tell you right now, folks, that 63 going to the inside of McWhorter. 63 has not been more than a top 4 car yet today. You know, he looked fast, but he hasn't quite gotten up to a position where I think he's going to really show his speed yet. He hasn't really stepped out quite yet. Could absolutely happen. It's just a matter of time before we find out when that does eventually happen, if it does. But you can see Cody Johnson has checked out. He's already a second and a half way up the road with these guys.
Yeah, talking about that bubble, Cody B. Johnson got out of that bubble, and he is basically in a completely different zip code than the bubble right now. At the moment, you can see just a never-ending train of cars. Jonathan Delaney running in second, Daniel Wiles there in third. You go back from there, Benefield, Dyson, Hicksonball, McWhorter, Foudy, Simpson, Kluwat. It is just a never-ending barrage of drivers that we go throughout this field. You have to go back to P12, Aiden Amara, and P13, Matthew Blackley, to find a gap that is larger than a half a second. It is just a never-ending train of race cars as they head their way through the south end.
You're on board right now with Wiles trying to catch up to P2, but look at that. Holy cow, there goes Benefield straight to the inside up to P3. Benefield, what a run. Already now closing in on P2.
So Benefield having Jonathan Delaney right there in his sights. This could get really, really feisty here. Speaking of some of the drivers up towards the front, we mentioned the in-season tournament that's running through this race. Adam Benefield, not one of the drivers running in that here this week. It was actually Jonathan Delaney that beat him last time out at Atlanta. So there may be a little bit of, definitely not bad blood, but I think it would be a little if Adam Benefield can get the one up there on Delaney, even though it'll make no difference as it stands currently for that in-season tournament.
I mean, still give him some credit here about Seth Foudy, though. He's hanging on to a position where if something were to happen to the 6, he might be able to capitalize on it. He's still running P9, still a top 10 run for him today. He sees that 6 car in his sights. He'd love to be able to get there. He's going to need some help here. 6 cars are very hard to beat, especially in Indy. And Cody B. Johnson has extended his lead now to 1.8 seconds, 2 seconds over Benefield. Holy cow. I mean, domination right now from that 04. Nobody's sticking with his stuff.
Yeah, that 04 car is just in a different league as it stands right now. We saw some good speed earlier on here during that first stage. We saw him cut his way through the field like a hot knife through butter, get up to the front, and then tried to check away, but Delaney was still keeping him honest. Now, though, the fact that Cody B. Johnson didn't have to worry about getting the overtakes done, the fact he was up there, up at the front at the start of the stage, not having to worry about it all, was able to cut out the middleman, and he's just been able to run away, running off into the sunset as it stands right now. Feels like the battling is primarily here for second. Not to say this battle doesn't have some importance here. Benefiel still looking to crawl his way back up as we get towards the end of this regular season. Some of these drivers in the hunt for some good positions there before we start up the chase. These drivers going to head into every single one of these races smelling opportunities out.
Trying to get all they can get. That's what you're saying here. But the thing is that the further back you go, the closer the cars are. I think Joseph McCorder, Jacob Simpson, you're starting to see the cars on top of each other. Here comes, I believe, Seth Foudy trying to make a pass back there. Let's see if we can get a view of it. There you go. He's going to the inside of Jacob Simpson. Trying to get an extra spot, move up to 8th place. But you lose so much tire on the bottom of the racetrack, you kind of want to make that pass happen quick. If the outside car battles you both of you are going to lose time exponentially. And they're still side-by-side battling for that spot.
Yeah, and still fighting hard as they head their way down into turn number 1. This will be Seth Foudy and Jacob Simpson squabbling for this spot.
Whoa!
Foudy running a little bit wide, having a sideways wiggle through the turn. He holds on to it.
Yeah, he gave him a door slam right there. The 77 got tight, couldn't hang on to it, went up and hit him, got a little sideways himself. Luckily, was able to keep the car straight. 14's a little loose off the corner there. 2 cars trying to make a move on it down to the inside from the checkup, but all 4 of them keep the cars pointed in the right direction. You saw what happened. And right here, that's 6 cars leaving everything on the table. He's sliding that right rear quite a bit, as the 83, I think, is doing a great job of taking care of his right front compared to what I'm seeing out of the 6. 83 is just waiting for a right time to strike, I think. 83's got a lot of speed in that car.
Yeah, I think Adam Benefiel at the moment, he's not attacking at every single opportunity. He's just trying to lay in the mirror right there, trying to intimidate Jonathan Delaney. We go into the intimidation tactics that he can run here at Indy. Very important to try and stay with it mentally here in one of these races. If you can throw your competitors off their game, you can throw them off into the nearest wall.
It's going to happen any second now. He's already there. Just takes one little move, one little dash, one change. He'll be there. But again, Cody B. Johnson, he's losing a little bit of the lead he once had. He's now down to a 2nd and 6/10. I think these guys back here's tires are starting to kick in, and Cody's tires, who has been being run off their tail, is starting to have some problems. Here comes the 83 at Benefiel to the inside.
Finally trying to make a work through turn number 1, and he's going to clear. Nice stuff there from Adam Benefiel. Getting that move done smoothly, cleanly, and quickly as well. It's like ripping a Band-Aid off whenever you try and get a move done here at Indy. If you just prolong it, it's going to be agonizing as you try and do it. If you try and get a move done here at Indy, you got to make it quick, you got to make it concise.
Crossing the front straightaway once again on lap 48, going to 49. Cody B. Johnson leading this race by over 1 second and 8/10 from the rest of the field. Top 10 separated by about 5 seconds. They're all trying to get some extra stage points and racing to lap 65. We have yet to see very much problems at any point throughout this field. However, we do have some drivers out of the race. And those drivers are Hunter Truhl, Brian Wertman, Nate Pollard. Only 3 cars are out. Everyone else is still out there on the racetrack and still in the lead lap.
And that's super unfortunate for Pollard, who we saw earlier on this race putting together a very valiant effort, was cutting his way through, but sadly had an incident hang down that back straightaway. Nothing he really did wrong in that. It was the 0-1 of Casey Graves misjudging it terribly, heading down that back straightaway. Unfortunately, the good run that was going for that number 16 going to end just like that.
You're on board again with the 88 of Wiles, currently running P4, trying to catch up to Delaney, who was just recently passed from Benefield. But Benefield, look at the gap. It closed by 0.3 a couple laps. He's closing in, trying to get to Cody B. Johnson. He's got a ways to go to get there even more. But right now, he's got it down to almost a half a second. And I think it's going to continue going that way as Delaney's falling back. He's now 1.9 seconds back.
Yeah, so starting to see Adam Benefield kind of break off into no man's land right now. He's the mediator currently between Jonathan Delaney, the initial leader here at the start of this race, and Cody B. Johnson, who's really been the Pied Piper of the pack, certainly here in stage number 2, where he has been dominant so far. But Adam Benefield looking to try and bridge that gap. Now that he's gotten all the overtaken taken care of, he'll be able to focus on saving those tires, getting a good run going, and keeping his nose on that grindstone. Words cannot describe how tricky it is to try and stay with it in one of these races when you're constantly having to battle with race cars. So Adam Benefield doing himself a lot of favors here at the start of this stage, getting himself up in a second, getting the closest thing to clean air he's really had all night.
And once he's able to get to the back bumper of Cody B. Johnson, I think that's where it's going to start settling out to where it might start getting even. But take a look. Can we do the comparison laps between first and second? I think that will show us a really important story to be told here. So one thing that you got to see whenever this does appear on the screen is that take a look. Half a tenth there. 10th and a half there. 10th and a half again. He is definitely catching him and almost down from a second and a half just a few laps ago, almost down to full 1 second here this time by. You can see Sector 1, he had almost a 2/10 faster lap. Sector 2, let's see what it is this time. Crossing the stripe, it is going to be, once he gets to the draft too, it'll grow exponentially. So there you go. That right there, you can see the difference. He's gaining just so much time on Cody B. Johnson. And once he's there, again, he's now in the draft. He's around 1 second is when that draft starts to kick in. Now he's going to start getting that pull from the car in front. And that 83 might just have the lead by the time we get to the end of the stage. He's got the speed to show it right now. But Cody B. Johnson's got to remember, he's got to keep pushing that car hard. But he can't overdo it, can't burn up his stuff. That would be not the plan that you want to be able to do.
I talked about the tire wear, how it is a one-way street. You can go down it, can't go back up. So right now, Adam Benefield having to pace himself well. Cody Johnson having to pace himself well here currently. Talked about how Adam Benefield may be able to bridge the gap between these drivers. I think part of the reason why Benefield is maybe starting to slow down a bit in his charge is the fact that Jonathan Delaney is right there on his back bumper. He's broken into that bubble, and it's almost like tying an anchor around your ankle. He's starting to drag him back a little bit. It's not a matter of Adam Benefield losing time. He's still making inroads to Cody Johnson, but compared to a matter of a couple of laps ago, those gains are significantly lighter than they once were.
But he's in the draft now. I think that his gains are going to start picking up big time. He's already 8/10. He's already gotten down to 8/10, and it's only going to continue closing. The further back you look, these are guys that are just outside of the top 15, not necessarily having too much of a say in the battle up front, but that's not what this series is about. We're about having fun. And I can tell you right now, Noah Woods is having a blast. So is Bill Hull. So is the 42. They're racing each other like it's the last lap because they don't really care. They're not going to try and go win a race. They don't have a chance right now. They got so much time between them and the leader. They just might as well have fun amongst themselves, and right now that's what they're doing. I mean, absolutely having tons of fun. You know, one thing I think is just really dang cool is that it doesn't matter where you're running in this series, as long as you try to finish the race, it kind of creates that semblance of, you know, progression no matter what. You can't just ride in the back all day and hope that that's good enough. You know, you do your best. Right here, 77, for example, just made a pass Seth Foudy on the inside of Jacob Simpson, just moved up a spot.
Yeah, so Seth Foudy certainly been impressive so far here in this race. Really been impressive over the past couple of months here in this championship, putting in some strong performances, fighting with some of the top dogs, and really doing a lot in that number 77 car. Currently side by side with himself and Jacob Simpson heading downtown into turn number 1 and 2 through the south end. This could get really dicey on corner exit. Thought that was going to end in tears. Simpson's still there on the bottom trying to make something work.
Still side by side. This is the battle for some extra stage points. Simpson and Foudy to the inside. Here comes Von Angel, almost 3 wide back here. This is for the 8th place spot. Near contact with the 22 and the 77. It looks like right there it will be the 22 having to hold back and try to defend the 2 as the 77 tries to pull away.
And that too, Ryan Von Angenal trying to get involved in this fight. This could get real dicey as they head their way into turn number 1 this time around. Blake Kluwat also involved in that fight. Contact made into turn number 1. They all somehow hold on to it, but that's the thing I was kind of worrying about.
Oh my goodness gracious. 14 did all he could to avoid that 22 hitting the wall. It was a pretty rough hit to say the least. Two-car was there trying to get his nose in there. 22's tight, and he's way out of the groove. He's going to hit the wall hard, and the 14 has to turn way hard left to try and avoid it. All cars able to continue.
Now, I got to say about that, too, talking about the other way his season has gone through to this point. Solid driver, certainly quick, but keeps finding himself in situations like that where things could very easily end in catastrophe. He had a streak a little bit earlier on this season of finding himself with incident point-related disqualifications, and it's small little moments like that that just put you behind the marker when it comes to that stuff.
And this is just starting to get to a point where I think Benefield's closed in as much as he can. He's there. Delaney followed him. And once he's gotten now within half a second, he knows what he's got to do. He knows he's got to get by Cody Johnson if he wants to win this stage. But it's easier to catch someone than it is to pass them. We'll see what the 83 can do. He's down under a half a second now, and he's going to be there. We only got a handful of laps left before we get to the end of stage 2. He doesn't have a lot of time left.
Yeah, it's a time absolutely running out. So Benefield, he needs to get this move done and get it done soon. Goes back to the old racing adage, catching up is one thing, passing entirely different. Benefield holding on to that margin about 4.5 tenths as they head their way down into turn number 3. So I have Jonathan Delaney directly behind Daniel Wiles, about a second back. If these 3 drivers start to battle, Wiles may stick his nose into this fight here as well. But certainly Delaney looking to lay on that pressure here very thick as we get into the final 5 laps of this.
I just went and did a little bit of research. Cody B. Johnson has 7,012 iRating. The guy is just fast. I didn't know that until today, but my goodness, Cody B. Johnson holding him off, doing what he's got to do. But Benefield was about a little over a tenth faster than him that last time. And he's only got 3/10 left and about 4 laps to go. So we're getting to the point where it's like, oh, I don't know. Will he be able to get there? If he does, I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, that it certainly will be. Gotta say, the three drivers that we have in our podium spots right now, all very, very solid iRacers in their own right. We've got to see them do very, very well here in this series. Adam Benefield, Jonathan Delaney, multi-time Friday Night Lights winners. Of course, those two have pedigree in the Cup Series as well, but Cody B. Johnson, still a bit of an unknown quantity despite his high I rating. If you don't have experience here in this championship, you never know how things are going to go about. That's one benefit that a lot of these drivers have, is that familiarity between each other. How often, Kirk, do you think Adam Benefield and Jonathan Delaney have been in a battle with each other?
Constantly. They've been racing each other for years, it seems like, so that they're always right next to each other. It's just kind of how it is. Now, the gap between them is less than 0.2 of a second. He's there. He's gotten there. He's gotten close. Now it's just a matter of time. Where is he going to make the move? When is the pass going to be made? I think you could expect to see something happen probably within the next 3 laps. I would be surprised if Benefield chooses not to go for it. He's been faster every single lap, and now he's on the back bumper. He's just got to get a good run. And once he's got that run, he might be able to make the pass. But Cody's doing a great job of doing some aero blocking there.
Yeah, so positioning that car exactly where he needs to maintain dominance here in this race, but not a good exit as he headed his way on the back straightaway. This could be Benefield's best shot.
Not this time. Still sitting right about a little over a 1/10.5. Then a little less. I think that 83 might try and do something here on the front straightaway if he's able to get a run. Getting there this time, yes, he will have a run. I think he's going to get there before the end of the front straightaway. He's going to have a big run. He's already under a 10th. Here he goes. Is he going to make the move? He's looking, he's thinking about it. No, he does not. Stays in right behind him and tries to wait for another lap to give it a shot. But look at the 6 of Delaney closing in on this too. Don't count him out yet.
Yeah, there was a period of time where it was 0.3 of a second between Benefield and Delaney. It's now 0.3 of a second between all three of these races. They have packed up quite a lot. And here's how it stands as they head their way down into turn number 3 for one of the last times here in this stage. Johnson has had the benefits of clean air throughout most, if not all, of this stage. They got to imagine that he has a tire benefit as well, but he's had to lean on those tires a little bit just to try and hold on to this top spot. Got to wonder who has the best rubber underneath him as we get towards the end of the second stage.
We know that 83 is able to save his stuff really, really well. He's going to have to use it at some point. He only got 2 laps left to go and use it right now. He's got to be able to get by Cody if he wants it, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I mean, he's starting to lose a little bit of time to him now. Almost 0.2 of a second back. The only thing bringing him back is not the run he got, but the draft he's picking up.
Yeah, so the draft certainly being key heading down these straightaways, even through the short chute in the north and the south end, just keeping that momentum rocking and rolling, heading off through the turns. Gotta say, though, I think this is turning into a 2-car fight. I think Delaney is starting to struggle.
Coming to get one more lap to go in this stage. Top 3 all under a blanket. Going into turn number 1, the 83 has about a car length between him and the leader. What is he able to do to try and win this stage? Top 3 still. Into turn number 2. 6 cars getting a little bit of run on the 83. 83's trying to drive the car sideways. And guess what, folks? I don't see that run showing up anywhere right now. 04's just got 2 more turns to navigate, and he will come out of this a 2-time stage winner through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. That's 3. Back straight away, a little short shoot between 3 and 4. And final one, 4. It looks like the 04's got this in the bag. Cody Johnson saves just the right amount of tire, avoids any trouble with Adam Benefield, and he's going to come to the line, and he will win both Stage 1 and Stage 2 here at Indianapolis.
It seems to be Cody Johnson's night, donuts.
I do agree. Cody Johnson seems to got the speed. You can see the Stage 2 results live on your screen. And right now, we're going to go ahead and take yet another quick step aside. Again, you're watching Maconi Entertainment live on wherever you watch your broadcast. It could be YouTube, X, whatever the heck it is. Stay with us. We'll be right back with you shortly.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
All right, folks, welcome back. You're watching Maconi Entertainment Friday Night Light Series here from Indianapolis. Having ourselves a dandy old time. You know, this might be the best time to crack open a cold one and, you know, just sit back, relax, and listen to race cars go around. But, Ron, I hear you have some questions you need to be asked.
Well, usually whenever anybody hears some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, there's definitely a lot of questions left to be asked. However, I'll be the one asking the questions here. Of course, one of the most storied motorsports facilities here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's a track that I absolutely adore, and I love the history of it as well. So I want to ask a NASCAR-themed trivia question right before this restart, and we'll run this all the way through to the fall of the checkered flag in 32 laps. Which NASCAR driver started their first ever Indy 500 from the pole position? So it's not a matter of what drivers are active, what drivers are in the past. Here's the options. Sam Hornish as A, B, Jacques Villeneuve, C, Kyle Larson, or D, Tony Stewart. Which of those NASCAR drivers started their first ever Indy 500 from the pole position?
Which driver started their first Indy 500 from the pole position? And they only have to be NASCAR drivers, those four?
Yeah, those are the four options.
Okay. Well, I bet folks already know who is not. And we're about to get the restart here. Pace car is going to go down to the pit road. I got to figure this out before we get the line. Oh, dang it. It's difficult. Here we go. Pace car pit road. And it looks like back underway, green flag. I think it was Tony Stewart.
Ding, ding, ding. You've got yourself a winner.
Boogity. All right, here we go. Turn one. Side by side for second. Hixenbaugh. Nowhere to be seen because he got an EOL penalty. He's at the back of the line. Guess who's up front, though? Side by side, it's Benefield and also Delaney. And guess what? Cody Johnson is checking out. He just went to the front desk there at the hotel, gave him a card and said, hey, I gotta go. Bye. And he skedaddled as everybody else tries to catch him going.
Yeah, still keeping it going as they head their way into turn number 3. That's a fight with Joseph McWhorter and Daniel Wiles. Wiles in that number 88 car. Driver that we've talked about a lot throughout this season. Driver that we've talked about a decent amount throughout this race. Still think he's got some strong speed. However, those drivers up the road have just had a little bit extra gumption there in those cars. Keep an eye on him still running in 5th.
Wait, hold on a second. I just had a thought about that Tony Stewart comment you just brought up earlier. I don't think he actually won the pole. Wasn't that the race where, what was his name? Brayton. Oh, yeah, God, yeah. Oh, yeah, that broke my heart. He died in a practice crash, I think, and he had the pole, but Stewart inherited it after he passed away, right?
That's why I said started from the pole position instead of qualified. Very nice observation there. As we're 3 wide farther than the back. Holy cow, Hixenbaugh trying to cut his way through.
Yeah, he's got a ways to go to get back to the front, though. It's so hard to pass. We saw that all day. He's lost a lot of spots, and it's hard to pass here. We know that for a fact. Benfield's the only one that seems to have been able to do it all day long. Up to P2, trying to chase down Cody B. Johnson. He's got about a half a second he's got to gain on him. As we got 30 laps to go here in the Friday Night Lights Series. Should not expect to see any pit stops.
So it's going to be a dash through to the fall of the checkered flag. This is going to be fascinating. Gotta wonder how things are going to shake out up towards the front. We saw Cody Johnson and the run that he had throughout that second stage. Started up towards the front, was running up towards the front for a while. However, as things went along and we got towards the end, Adam Benefield and Jonathan Delaney were laying on that pressure as thick as icing on top of a wedding cake. So as we get towards the end, I think if Cody Johnson can't keep those tires underneath him, same case for everybody throughout this field, if those tires are forming a mutiny, they're going to be in real trouble.
You know, last time I heard that word mutiny was in a video game by the name of Hold Fast, Nations at War. Such a great little game right there. I recommend it to anybody who likes yelling and screaming. All right, so again, single file for the majority of the top 10. 77 got a little loose, got right, washed up the hill, and now the 73 of McWhorter tries to go down to the inside, trying to make another pass for position there from 6th place.
is getting really dicey here throughout this field. Drivers trying to get some moves done as the tires are still underneath them. That's why these restarts are usually a little bit wild. These drivers sense the opportunity. That window is open. They're going to stick their arm in before that door shuts.
All righty. I got to tell you, while we're at 27 laps to go in this race, I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of the Full Length Cup Challenge drivers that are out there right now racing in the iRacing Brickyard 400. For example, Nolan Hodgson currently running P10 over there. You also got Sean Conklin and Dylan Basin P2, P3. And those guys are all, they race here with us quite often. And they are out there running in Brickyard 400 this week. And we wish them the best of luck as they're continuing on in their journey trying to win in such a very difficult event to win. So wishing them luck. Show the FLCC group, show them good. That's all I can say. Cody B. Johnson and Benefield, though, if we look at the gap, it has closed quite a bit. Now down to about 4/10. Yo, 83 hits the wall a little bit. He's trying all he can. He's trying to use all the racetrack, even the wall, to try and go a little faster.
You know, one odd little detail here about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, this was the first track that they installed safer barriers on way back in the year 2000, and they're not all the way around the racetrack. They are in the turns, and that is about it. Even heading down the short chute, you can see that there's a small little break there, and you end up with solid concrete there on the outside. These drivers can use that small little cutout in the barrier, an extra foot or so that they can use heading out of these turns to try and keep that momentum rocking and rolling heading around this flat track.
Back straightaway again. You're seeing how close these cars are getting to the wall. Some of them are hitting the wall. They're trying to get all they can get, and one that just hit the wall pretty hard is Hicksonball, who's also trying to close into the top 10 again. He's all the way up to 16th. He's almost to the top 15. He's got a ways to go. But up front again, Hicksonball, nowhere to be seen. It's Benefield, who has closed in on Cody B. Johnson, still nose to tail. And what is that 83 able to do to get that 04 out of the way? Or what is the 04 able to do to keep the 83 behind him? I want your perspective. What do you think that 83 or the 04 has to do to maintain this particular position or switch it around?
Well, I won't kind of switch around that question here. We'll start by thinking about what sort of defensive maneuvers the 04 of Cody Johnson can do. It's all about pacing herself here in this race. You know, this track was originally built back in 1909 to try and test automobiles and test the limits of what a car could do. At this point, that 04, even, you know, many years, over 100 years, ever since this track was first opened way back in the day, he is still proving that this track is a test of what a car can do. He's being tested with the tires. He's being tested with what he can do grip-wise. There's a lot of stuff that 04 is being pushed on. If he can pace himself well here at the end of this race as a driver and pace his equipment, that could be key. He can also use a little bit of aero blocking here. The aerodynamics super important. You don't have that banking to help you out as you head your way through the turns. You've got to rely a whole lot on that front splitter and that rear spoiler. So for the case of Adam Benefield in the attack, what he needs to do is hunt around this racetrack. He's got to hunt for a little bit of clean air. You could see it as he headed his way through turn number 2, was a little bit down there on the apron trying to make something work below that white line. Just get a little bit of clean air on the nose of that race car. It may not be a lot, it may not seem like a lot, but a small little thing can make a world of difference here at this race.
I will say, I don't see this. I don't see this lead changing in a long time. I think it's going to happen sooner than you think. The 83 got right to the back bumper that last time by. You saw how close he was. Now he's got to redo it, try and do it maybe down the back straightaway here. Let's see how that run develops. Does not. I don't see it. So if it's going to happen, it's going to be happening down into turn 1. That's where the 83's been faster all day long.
And again, going back to the point that we raised during the second stage, Kirk, about how going your way through this field is almost like climbing a ladder, but the rungs get more and more spaced apart as you go farther up. Right now, Benefield trying with all his might to stretch to try and grab that final rung so he can get up here to the top, but it's a heck of a lot easier said than done. He's trying to get the moves done. He's trying to make something work. He's doing good, staying locked on the back of that 04, but not able to get the move done quite yet. You do also have to consider as well what he's maybe doing to get into the head of that 04 car right up there in front. We talked about the mind games a little bit earlier on here in this broadcast, Kirk, about how much you can do just from second, trying to rattle the cage of that car right up in front of you.
He's got to run. He's going to get a little bit of a run here and not going to make a move for the lead, but he's maintaining. And Delaney's sitting there in the wings just waiting for something to happen. Here comes the 83. He's going to the bottom. There he goes. Turn 4. Side by side for the lead. Cody B. Johnson lets off and lets him go. Lets him go. So Benefield, new leader with 20 laps to go when they cross the stripe. Can anybody catch him?
Yeah, now with that 83 of Adam Benefield, who's oh so quick in the dirty air, now getting a taste of clean air for the very first time, I expect that number 83 car to really take off. But Cody B. Johnson finds himself in the hot seat now, feeling some pressure from Jonathan Delaney. It's not an unfamiliar position. Hey, throughout most of this race, that 04 was running directly in front of the 6 of Delaney, still looking to try and make something work. Delaney has a small little kind of dangling carrot up in front. We talked about how this is the second to last race of the in-season tournament. The number 6 of Jonathan Delaney up against the 77 of Seth Foudy. Haven't really talked about those two getting the opportunity to race against one another. Seth Foudy is in this same camera shot. He finds himself in 6th at the moment. It has been a fantastic drive for that driver behind the wheel of that number 77 car. We still have 20 laps left to go, but if Delaney has a small little slip up here, he's having to walk a tightrope at the end of this race. One small little mistake, and the consequences when it comes to that in-season tournament are going to be dire.
That's to say the absolute least, for sure. Down the back straightaway. Benefield must feel like he's like on cloud 9. If you look at that driver, he got up to the lead from starting 22nd. One of the fastest cars in the field. And when you're looking at, like you said, at the in-season tournament, 83 got beat by Delaney last week, so he's not thinking about the in-season tournament at all. That 83 is now in a position where he's only thinking about one thing and one thing only, winning the races, trying to win a championship. And I think he might have a shot to be able to do that if he continues.
Yeah, no, as much as that in-season tournament does kind of matter to some of these drivers, of course, looking for a good payday, they have their eyes locked on the prize heading into this round of the championship. And I will say, I'm not sure if the regular season championship is really within reach of Adam Benefield. Answered this race 330 points up on the cut line. He was about 48 points behind Bryson Ixenball heading into this race. And of course, with the stages working pretty all right in Benefield's favor and him currently holding on to the race lead, he may be able to take a small little nibble out of that gap. But he's going to have to hope for some really good runs and hope for some falling anvils to come down on Bryson Ixenball. Working good right now as Ixenball finds himself in 14th, still with a heck of a lot of room to grow. But right now, Adam Benefield, he will have to put on an amazing charge right towards the end of this summer stretch as we get towards the tail end of the regular season if he wants to have a hope of getting that regular season crown.
I mean, he's doing that, though. He's doing a job that's better than what most folks can ever anticipate. I mean, give him some credit here. I mean, I think Benefield has a good shot of winning the regular season championship. He might even have a chance of going out there and doing something phenomenal in terms of maybe winning the whole dang thing. I think Benefield might be your guy if he's able to keep the speed up. But Hicksonball's recovered up to number 13th now. I don't think Hicksonball even gets into the top 5 today if this continues at the pace he's going. Such a great run up front. Everybody in the top 5 is just so fast. I don't think that I've seen that speed out of Hicksonball today. But Benefield, Johnson, Delaney, those 3 are definitely the 3 fastest cars we've seen all day long.
Yeah, they have been in a different zip code as it stands right now, as we've got a little battle here towards the tail end of your top 10. That was Joseph McWhorter, Seth Foudy, and Jacob Simpson. Simpson looking to stick his nose into this fight here as well. They're side by side, heading their way through turn number 3. Gets a little bit tense there on corner exit, but still going to hold on.
Side by side, down the front straightaway. 15 laps to go. Still side by side, going into the corner. Seth Foudy's doing all he can on the outside, not quite going to make it work. 22's trying to bottom. Wow, what a good run on the outside. There you go. 77 might be able to hang on to the spot. He's loose. He's fighting it. He's real loose, real loose. Hang on to it, bud. There you go. And now those two have not left each other. They've been racing each other real hard all race long.
Yeah, now you look a little bit farther behind. There may be some extra company getting involved into this fight. Ryan Von Henschel may be involved. Blake Kluwat may try and stick his nose into this fight as well. We still have 15 laps left to go here at Indianapolis. There's still plenty of time left for these drivers to try and battle here as Simpson tries to get a run going, heading out of turn number 3, closing up a little bit there to Foudy, but I'm not sure if you'll be able to make it work heading down into turn number 1. As we have a fight right now for P1, Adam Benefield and Cody Johnson, covered by less than 0.2 of a second. TP and a Wigwam up at the front of the field.
All it takes is one bad corner, and then Johnson's going to be there. I mean, Benefield's got to run the race of his life here. The last 14 laps of this race, he's got to run qualifying laps. He's got to try and keep the car in a position to maintain this lead. But Cody B. Johnson, he's got the car, I think, to compete with him. Those top 2, it could go either way for the win of this race. 83 definitely seems to have the car who can get through traffic the best. But the 04, sitting right there in P2, hasn't left the top 5 all race long. Now he's got a chance to be able to win the race in an interesting fashion. Benefield, who has taken over the lead from Johnson, who had been dominant up to that point, now just got to avoid looking in his mirror and just drive out the front windshield. Don't worry about behind you. Try to run as quick as you can. And if you notice something in the mirror moving, try not to get too squirrely thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't want to be wiggling around like a bit of jello that just got thrown directly into a dryer. That could get ugly. Sounds pretty messy, and it sounds like one heck of a cleanup.
Makes me want jello.
Me too. That or
Let's go get some jello. Let's get some jello. It's good stuff. All right. Well, 13 laps to go. Coming to get 12 to go. Top 3 still all right there. If any of those 3, if all those 3 have problems, then Dyson, who has quietly been in the top 5 all night today, he has not necessarily competed for the top 3, but he has been fast in maintaining his position. He's just a second behind these 3. And this is a little bit further back, though. You're looking at Jacob Simpson, Von Henschel, and Seth Foudy. This is from 7th, 8th, and 9th on your screen.
And side by side as they head their way downtown through turn number 2. This is a fight that we saw nearly end in tears a little bit earlier on. Thankfully, it was a little bit smoother this time. Ryan Von Henschel able to get the move done. Jacob Simpson in that 22 car, it's a little bit odd. Every single race, I feel like that 22, pace-wise, week to week, is about as hard to pin down as a 3-legged chicken. You never really know exactly what he's going to roll off the truck with.
11 laps to go. Benefield trying to hold off Cody B. Johnson and Jonathan Delaney. Through turns 2. He's got a decent gap, about a car length and a half between him and the 04. Now 2 car lengths. The 6 and the 04 are closer together than the top 2 are. And the 41's just sitting right in the wings. Maybe the 41 saves something. Maybe he might jump in on this battle. He might have something that we don't know about yet. But Benefield seems to be hanging on to this one with extreme talent, prowess, speed. And that's something that is hard to come by these days, but he is doing a great job of showing it.
Yeah, but still far from over here in this race. 10 laps left to go, 25 miles left to try and settle it. Jonathan Delaney, I think, still has a good shot to do well here. Cody Johnson has a good shot as well. Of course, Adam Benefield maybe going to be the favorite, having that benefit of the clean air. But one driver who's starting to get involved in this fight here, Kirk, I'm not sure whether my feet are deceiving me or what, but Andrew Dyson is there.
He's closing in, that's for sure, but I don't think he's got time to get by all 3 of them. It's going to be very hard to prove that. But what I can tell you is winning at Indianapolis is such a huge feeling for any driver who wins here. I can tell you it doesn't matter if it's in the sim or if it's real life, the feeling is still the same. You feel like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just won at the Brickyard. I've only ever won here once, last year in an O'Reilly car in an A fixed race. And I'll never forget it. It was one of those moments that you just can't forget. But now these guys have a chance to be able to add that to their roster if they haven't won here already. Odds are they have. A lot of them have a lot of wins. They've won on a lot of places. But, I mean, it's so hard to win here. And you got to be in the right position, be the fastest car, have the most calm driver behind the wheel. And look at this. He's snaking down the back straightaway with 8.5 laps to go.
And trying to break the draft here as we head our way into the final stages of this race. Just to elaborate on the point that you were raising a few moments ago, Kirk, about the gravity whenever a driver gets a victory here at Indianapolis. Doesn't matter whether it's in real life or in the sim, it still matters the exact same way. There's an energy here at this place. There's a gravity here. Whenever you head to some of the best racetracks in the world, you can tell the history, you can tell the emotion, you can sense it whenever you step foot here. Even in sim, you know what you're running around, you know what's in store. Really, in the NASCAR world, it's up there with the likes of Charlotte, Darlington, and Daytona. There's a reason why they hold the crown jewel events, and there's a reason why these drivers, even here in these O'Reilly cars, are looking for everything. Benefield looking to try and leave everything out there on the racetrack, leave nothing to chance. He's still trying to break that slipstream as he heads his way down the back straightaway. I'm liking the move there from the drivers behind, not pursuing it too much. I think Benefield could maybe go a bit farther beyond there, because I have seen some drivers go rather extreme in the slipstream braking. However, what I'm seeing right there from Benefield, I'm not sure how confident he is as we get into the final 7 laps.
Oh, he's fine. That gap has not changed very much. As long as he just runs his line, his speed, it can't go in a way that is unexpected for him. That's what I can tell you. He is going to try to maintain. He cannot make any mistakes, though. It's got to be right on it. Can't screw it up. Car behind Johnson, same position. Delaney, same position. And Dyson. Those are the only 4 cars within 1 second of the leader. Everybody else is about 3 seconds back. Daniel Wiles, P5, 3 seconds back. 4.5 seconds back to the quarter. Foudy, 7th. 8th. Von Hinchel, 9th. Kluwa, and 10th. Jacob Simpson, 8 seconds behind the leader. And I could say here, the top 4, I'd say the biggest chance of winning goes to the top 2 in that little back there. The 6 car would need a huge surge. 41 would need even a bigger one to be able to have a say in the final of this part of this race. Winning at Indy is going to be all these guys want to do. That's everything. And the 83, absolutely in a good spot to be able to do it. He even gained a lot of time there. A little over a 10th he gained in that corner alone.
And it goes back to that advantage of clean air. I talked about the aerodynamics being key as the 2 and the 14 get very flirtatious with each other heading off through turn number 2. This could get dicey if these two drivers come to blows, which they've been very close to it already here in this battle. They've gone close to it already here in this race. We have run outside the stage breaks. We have run caution free. If a yellow were to come at now, that would be a complete reset here to this race. And with those two drivers battling it out right now for 8th, you can never rule things out.
Yeah, I got to tell you, look up front. Top 2, guess what? Huge gap. The 83 was able to get a great lap time that last time by, and he is starting to scoot away from those 3 cars behind him. I don't think Cody B. Johnson will have enough. I don't think Delaney will have enough, and most certainly I do not think that Dyson will have enough. Benefield's just got to maintain. He's got to maintain speed. Cannot make any mistakes, and he's going to have this in the bag. But Cody B. Johnson, if you're in his shoes, very small percentage of catching him, but passing him's the hard part. He's got to get there and then find a way to get around him, which is so hard here. 5 laps to go. When they cross the stripe, it will be 4 laps to go.
Yeah, at this point, Cody B. Johnson is probably hoping for a miracle, hoping for a mistake either for Adam Benefield. That 3/4 of a second gap between those drivers, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that was probably pulled as a result of a mistake from Johnson heading off through the north end of the track through turns number 3 and 4. Benefield, though, still hitting his marks just about right. With 4 laps left to go here, all he needs to do is have a bodily temperature roughly in the 90s to try and bring this one home.
3.5 laps for Adam Benefield. What a season he's had so far this year. Absolute speed demon up here. He's won twice already this season, sitting P2 in the points. He's going to gain a lot of points today on Hicksonball, who's running P13 after his penalty he had when he came down pit road. This is only going to benefit his championship chances. He's going to get 3 laps to go this time. He'd love to get a chance at it. His 3rd win of the season is definitely in his sights.
Yeah, so just needs to hit his marks for the final 7 miles of this race. If he can do that, he will be golden. Benefield having the advantage of a gap. Johnson still struggling. You can see that sideways snap right there in the back. A shot as he headed his way out of turn number 2. So small little things are making a world of difference, and slowly but surely dropping Jonathan Delaney off into the clutches of Andrew Dyson. This could get very dicey here, no pun intended, in that battle for 3rd.
Not going to mean much for him at all, really, to tell you the truth. Coming to get 2 laps to go. I don't see that gap closing. And Benefield's probably breathing a sigh of relief. He had Cody B. Johnson on his back bumper for multiple laps in a row. And I'm sure he was thinking about it. But now he probably shouldn't think anything about it. He's got a lap and a half when he goes down the back straightaway to get to the line. He's just got to cross that start-finish line. Then the next flag will end the race. Down the back straightaway. It looks like that 83 Team Conti Sim Performance Chevrolet heading into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Remember, he's just got to cross that yard of brick, and he will have the white flag. 1/10 was gained by Cody Johnson in the last lap. 1/10. Now he's trying to gain it all back all at once. On the final straightaway, coming to get the white flag. 1 lap to go here from Indianapolis. Adam Benefield's got it. Can Cody Johnson pull off a miracle? Turn 1.
He's going to have to hope for a miracle at this point, or hope for some rockets to appear on the back of that 04 car. It's still Benefield with a monster gap off turn 2.
Not a problem at all. No one in his front. No one even close to his rear. Down the back straightaway for the final time. A driver's race. Turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Not that much incidents. Not that much chaos. Just hard racing from 27 great drivers. out of turn number 4, the one who beats them all, it's Adam Benefield, who will come out of the final corner down the most famous straightaway in motorsports, and he's going to cross the line, and he is a winner in Indianapolis.
Oh, and a penalty right towards the end for Blake Kluwat there. He's going to finish there in 9th, but that is going to set him back big time. I wonder if there was contact heading through turn number 4, maybe tagging the wall on exit, put him over the incident point limit. That is heart-wrenching for Kluwat.
That doesn't make sense. He's still on the racetrack. I don't know why the penalty would have been given. Let's see what happened to Blake here in the 14 P23. He was running in the top 10 early in this race. Outside wall. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. He went through pits. That's why. Okay. Nothing to do with incident points. But yeah, at the end of the day, 83. Adam Benefield. Look at these guys drifting. They know it's the end of the race. They're just having some fun.
Don't
Adam
burn it down
Benefield,
on the bricks,
though.
Benefield. Don't burn it down on the bricks. I swear, I will burn your head. No, please.
Whoa.
I won't actually do that. I'm nice.
All right. Well, I tell you this. I don't understand that jazz at all. He's a wonderful guy. So good for him to be able to win. He got the job done. Good for him. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at our finishing results on your screen as he does his burnouts. Cody B. Johnson, P2. Great race from him today. Jonathan Delaney, P3. Andrew Dyson, P4 with Wiles, P5. Got Joseph McCorder in 6th, 7th, Seth Fowdy. 8th will be Ryan Von Hinchel. 9th will be Matthew Blackley. And finally, 10th place, Jacob Simpson.
Yeah, looking through the rest of the pack here in this race, Bryson Hicksonball ends up in P11. That EOL right there at the start of the final stage really just gutted his race. Jesse Winslow ends up in 12th. Casey Graves will be in lucky spot P13. Aiden Amaro in 14th place. Cliff Mullins in 15th. Mason Lowry in P16. Noah Woods in 17th with Bill Hull, Wesley Napier, and Michael Mesnard completing your top 20.
Final 27 spots here. You see 21st Eaton, followed by Tim Phillips. Blake Kluwat got that penalty at the end, and then Matthew Boston Wheeler got 24th. Hunter Truel, who had a great day, ended up leaving a little early. 25th, 26th, Brian Workman, and Nate Pollard, our final finisher here this afternoon. We are going to go ahead and get our race winner, Adam Benefield, up here in the booth with us here shortly. Adam Benefield got the win this afternoon. My goodness, Adam, that car went through the whole field, 22nd to 1st, and you got the win at the biggest speedway, the Art of Bricks. How's it feel, man?
Yeah, it feels pretty good to be able to do something like that. Car was good, Harry. Had no complaints. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, Christopher Bell won't get that joke you just said there. Good reference, though. I could say right now, Adam, you had a heck of a battle between you and the 04 there towards the end of that race. You waited for the right time, and did you think that there was, when he was on your back bumper for like the last 10 laps or however much it was, did you think he was going to do something? Or whenever you saw him make that mistake and fall back even further, what went through your mind?
I mean, well, y'all, as you know, I keep the broadcast up throughout the race, and I'm not going to lie, nothing against y'all, but y'all were selling Cody Johnson a little bit short. He is, no matter where he's at, he is a great driver. He is very fast.
Awesome.
It's no surprise that he was up there doing that. So I knew that it was going to come down between the three of us, and he's hard to pass, and I didn't want to do nothing dirty. I just wanted to try to do it as clean as possible. And stage 1, I had an opportunity, and I felt like it was probably a little too late to throw it down in there going into 1. So I didn't. And then we went back green right there, and I don't know. The opportunity, he kind of missed the bottom of 3. And it kind of opened the door, and I was able to get a pretty good bite up off the corner. And I would have preferred to wait till it was coming out of 4 to pass, but I had to take the run. It was too big. And then, yeah, it was all about just trying to hit my marks. And it was the first time I experienced clean air. So I didn't really know what that thing was going to do. It kind of took me a handful of laps to feel the balance of the car because I had freed it up so much coming through the field. So luckily it was pretty good. And then right there about the last 10 laps, I finally found something through turn 2, and it kind of helped me. He would catch me through 4, like he was better than me coming out of 4, and then we were about even through 1, and then I found something there through 2, and it kind of helped me get a gap to where I could manage it. I don't know what happened in that one lap going in turn 3, but I look up coming down the straightaway, and I had pretty big gap, so I just went to, logging laps.
Well, I got to tell you, Adam, you did yourself one heck of a good job out there, 22nd. And as for the Cody B. Johnson situation, he's only ever started in the Friday Night Lights series once, and that was tonight.
Yeah. Y'all wouldn't know. I was just saying. I was like, y'all, like I said, y'all didn't know. Y'all had no idea, but
we figured that out halfway through the broadcast when we looked at his I-rating. It's 7,000. Holy cow. Yep, he's good. That's all we needed to know. But yeah, it was good. It was a good race between you two. And anybody want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just shout out to the top 3 right there. This is what this league used to be like. We didn't have to worry about getting body slammed and crap like that. So it shows when you put 3 clean drivers up front that you can have a hell of a show. And so that was a lot of fun. I would love to race those guys week in and week out. Wouldn't have it any other way. They're some great drivers. But Bobby and everybody that puts this league on, it's fun, and all the side things that they have going, competitions. So tomorrow night we're going for the bracket championship against my buddy Ralph. It's the 2 old guys going head to head for the championship in the cup stuff. So that'll be fun. Everybody at Team Conti Sim Performance, and you guys for broadcasting.
Well, thank you, Adam. And also 12 points between you and Benefield, you and Hicksonball, rather, who did not necessarily have the best night after his penalty. So closing in on the regular season championship might be a close battle. We wish you the best of luck, man. Thanks for talking to us.
He's a trash can. He has no chance.
Well, all right. Appreciate the blunt honesty. All right. We'll hear from you next time. Thanks, Adam.
Later. See y'all.
All right. Let's go ahead and move up here. Let's go ahead and get Cody B. Johnson. Cody B. Johnson is going to be with Ron. Great driver right here.
Yeah, and a fantastic drive on debut here in this series. Cody, welcome into the broadcast booth. Well done on the second place run. That looked like a pretty fun, yet maybe a little bit stressful night here at Indy. How was it out there, my friend?
Oh, man, I had a lot of fun. I haven't been racing a lot, so finally got some time to hop on and got to go ahead to hop in there and run with everybody, and I appreciate everybody letting me run in this series. I don't usually I don't race with them guys. I race on the cup side, but a lot of fun. I knew Adams was going to be fast. I always watch the broadcasts. He's really fast in this car, so I knew when he got there in that final stage it was going to be tough to hold him off. And I made an adjustment because I was getting pretty free out front, and I think whenever I decided to just move over and let him go, it just made me just a little bit too tight. I just couldn't get it to do what I wanted to do, but I had a lot of fun. That was a ton of fun.
We were talking a little bit earlier on in this broadcast about one of the benefits here in this series is that all of you drivers have gotten the opportunity to race against one another in some form or fashion for quite some time. So despite the fact that you made the transition running in this O'Reilly's car here tonight, got to race against drivers that you've run with before, how easier does it make that transition to be battling with the same drivers that you fought before?
That's probably one of the main reasons I'm in this league is because a lot of the guys in here, I have a ton of respect for. I know how they race, and I try to race the same. Just a lot of give and take, and that's one of the enjoyable parts of the league. It's just not filled with like drama and caution. We actually get to race it out, and best guy wins, and that's what makes it so enjoyable. Like I said, I have a ton of respect for all the guys that I raced with tonight.
Yeah, it was one heck of a fight that you found yourself in from the drop of the green through to the fall of the checkered. I'd usually ask at this point in the interview about the next round of this championship. Instead, I'll ask you about the Brickyard 400 tomorrow night here in the FLCC, one of the crown jewels. Are we going to be seeing you out there on the racetrack for that tomorrow night? And if so, what are your thoughts coming back here in the Cup car?
Yeah, absolutely. The Cup car is not my favorite car. I'm okay in it. I don't have a feel for it like I do the Xfinity car. But we'll be there, give it a shot, and just ride around, have fun, and stay out of everybody's way, and maybe can make some adjustments and be somewhere close to the front at the end.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to seeing you running out there tomorrow night. I will say, from my perspective, I think I can speak for the rest of us here in the broadcast booth. We'd love to see you drop down and do some more of these O'Reilly's races because you put on one hell of a show here tonight. But Cody, before we let you go and get a little bit of practice in for that Brickyard 400 here in about 24 hours time, we'll let you give any thank yous or shout outs.
Yeah, absolutely. Just appreciate you guys broadcasting, and Bryson for making room for me to run tonight, and I'll be back as long as I'm welcome. And like I said, just shout out to all the guys I raced with tonight. I appreciate them letting me be there, and great win for Adam. That was an awesome race. I enjoyed it.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you for joining us here in the broadcast booth. Cody, well done on the win, and we will see you out there on the exact same racetrack in a slightly different car in about 24 hours' time.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good one.
Yep, you as well. That right there was Cody Johnson's second place finisher. Kirk, I'll pass the mic off to you to have a chat with our P3 man. It's Jonathan Delaney.
Jonathan Delaney, man, this guy, no matter what, he had the fast lap of the race today, just barely. He had about like 1/1000th of a second over Cody B. Johnson there. But I got to ask you, man, third place and podium finish again. I mean, do you ever get tired of finishing in the top three at all?
You would think, but I don't. I always strive to be the best I can and win. But no, it's it was a good race overall. I just didn't adjust my car. I was too loose all night. Kind of figured the track was going to tighten up a little bit, and never really did. So I was just struggling loose the entire race. Cody was insane, short mid run. Adam came up through the field, and he had really good pace too. But I just couldn't hang with those guys. They were really fast all night. And yeah, I'm sure it was really boring for you guys. But
Yeah.
yeah, it stretched out, and it was kind of fun to drive once it stretched out. It was insanely hard to pass, dirty air. You get within 0.2 of someone, and it's terrible hard to pass. Hard to get a run on them and complete a pass safely and all that. But it depending, you kind of were able to if the person in front got loose. But yeah, it was a good race. Always want more, but I'm happy with it. We advanced into the final round of the in-season tournament, so I'm happy about that. I believe I'm racing McWhorter next week or wherever we're at after this, which is Iowa in 2 weeks, I believe. So, yeah, I'm happy. So, yeah.
And I'm happy for you, man. Congratulations, top three, and we appreciate you for talking with us.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good one. That was Jonathan Delaney finishing P3. Ron, final thoughts from Indianapolis.
If you're going out in public, make sure you wear a clean pair of pants. That was a really fun race, I got to say, all in all. It was very competitive. We had kind of the three juggernauts of this race battling it out. It was fun, though. It was a clean race here at Indy. It is one of the toughest tracks on the calendar, and certainly the props are very much so due to these drivers for putting together a very smooth, very not relaxed effort, but one where everybody wasn't trying to kill each other all the time. It was a fun night here at Indy.
Well, it is a driver's track. Thank you all so much for tuning in. You're watching Maconi Entertainment. My name's Kirk Mills alongside Ron Mons up here in the booth. we had Howie Burrows, our producer, this afternoon in the truck. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in to Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you tomorrow for the Brickyard 400 from the Full Length Cup Challenge. And, oh man, it's going to be a good one.